Please help me to reach 500 subscribers. When Emma introduced me to her new supervisor, I didn't sense anything was off. It was her company's quarterly dinner, one of those polished events where everyone smiled through small talk while secretly scrolling on their phones. Emma had been staying late more often, but I trusted her completely. I always had. That night she looked stunning, her curls carefully styled, her familiar scent resting softly in the air. I remember thinking that maybe we were finally finding our way back to each other. Then he approached. He carried himself with ease, tall, assured, wearing that self-satisfied grin men have when they believe they're untouchable. "Daniel, right?" he said, reaching out his hand. "I've heard a lot about you." His tone was smooth, almost rehearsed, and something about it immediately rubbed me the wrong way. Still, I shook his hand and ignored the way his eyes lingered on Emma just a moment too long. As dinner went on, I noticed little things. Shared looks. Quiet smiles. Nothing obvious, nothing I could point to, but enough to make my chest tighten. I told myself I was overthinking it, that I was letting insecurity speak. But she laughed more freely with him than she had with me in months. She brushed his arm when she talked, a habit she'd long stopped doing with me. Later we gathered near the bar. Emma stepped away to take a call, and that's when his expression shifted. He smirked slightly, swirling the ice in his glass. "So," he said casually, "you're the ex." For a second I thought I'd misunderstood him. "The what?" I asked, sharper than I meant to. He chuckled and leaned closer. "Didn't mean to ruin the surprise." "She didn't tell you?" The words cut deep. I turned just as Emma returned. The moment our eyes met, I had my answer. She froze completely. Her face drained of color, her mouth opening without a sound. No explanation was needed. I set my glass down calmly, smiled at him, then looked at her. "So this is recent?" I asked quietly. She didn't respond. "Got it," I said and walked away, leaving her shaking beside her boss. The drive home felt unreal, like I was moving through thick mist. Every light, every passing car blurred together. I wasn't angry, I was stunned. For years I'd stood by Emma through late nights, business trips, emotional distance. I told myself relationships changed, that love didn't disappear, it just softened. But now I saw the truth. It hadn't evolved. It had been quietly suffocating under layers of lies. When I reached home, I packed only the essentials. Clothes, my passport, the watch my father gave me. I left everything else behind. I didn't want reminders. My phone buzzed nonstop. Emma calling. Then messages. "Please, Daniel. It's not what you think. Can we talk? I need to explain. Please come back." I messed up. I turned the phone face down and sat on the edge of the bed that no longer felt like ours. I felt empty, like something vital had been stripped away. The next morning she showed up. The knock was hesitant. When I opened the door, she stood there with smudged makeup and swollen eyes. "Daniel," she whispered. "Please listen. He was my ex, from before you. He got promoted recently. I didn't know how to tell you." I stared at her, weighing what hurt more, the betrayal or the silence. "You didn't know how?" I repeated. "You had months. You just chose not to." She cried harder and stepped closer. "I swear I wasn't sleeping with him." "Maybe not," I said evenly. "But you let him exist in every lie. You protected him with your silence. And that's worse." She reached for me. I stepped back. For the first time I didn't feel anger, just clarity. "I spent years defending you," I said quietly. "Telling people you were just tired, just stressed. Turns out they were right." She begged me not to leave. I picked up my bag and walked past her. "It ended the moment he recognized me," I said. 2 weeks later, I was living in a small downtown apartment. Thin walls, streetlights for a view. Oddly enough, the quiet felt healing. I slept better. Ate better. Thought clearly. Betrayal has a way of burning everything down so completely that starting over feels like breathing for the first time. Emma kept reaching out. Long messages. Apologies. Promises. I read them all. Sometimes I typed a response but never sent one. What was left to say? One evening, while waiting for takeout at a cafe nearby, I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Daniel." I turned. It was him. Her boss. Her ex. He looked surprised, not ashamed. "Didn't expect to see you," he said casually. He tried to explain. Said Emma told him we'd been struggling long before he showed up. I laughed softly. "Of course she did." He shrugged. "She's complicated." I held his gaze until his confidence cracked. "You know," I said calmly, "I should thank you." He frowned. "For what?" "For showing me the truth before I wasted any more time." I stepped past him. You can have whatever version of her you want. Just know this, you'll never get her honesty. That part's gone. He looked away first. That night, I sat by my window watching rain slide down the glass. I felt no bitterness, no regret, just peace. I opened my phone and reread her last message. I miss you. Please come home. I typed a reply then erased it. Some things don't need to be said. Some endings are best left quiet. Please help me to reach 500 subscribers.